Thank you very much. This is a big honor for me. It's when I was first told it was at the Rose Theatre. I've never been to the Rose Theatre. I thought it was the remodeled Odeon, and I hear now that it's just for storage. I thought, oh, that's perfect. It's where my dad used to bring us to watch carry-on movies. For the older people, that was the only place you could see nudity. I thought, how ironic. I was going to point out the spot I was sitting when I first saw my first nudity. In those days, of course, you had to wait for the Eaton's catalog to come out. Check the underwear section. I knew this area very well. I'm sorry my voice is a little hoarse. I used to buy smoke bombs at the smoke shop over there. I want to thank Brampton. I loved growing up here. When my parents first brought us here when we were little from North Bay, I thought I was leaving paradise, and my dad was like, oh, it's the flower town capital of Canada. I don't care about that. All I saw was greenhouses. We had a wonderful childhood. Of course, in those days, these are the days when you'd throw your kids out at the crack of dawn, and you'd say, come back when you're bleeding. Sure, we lost a few, but at least they died in the sunshine. We had a wild, free childhood, and we ran wild across the city in our bikes from Rosalie Pool to El Dorado to the library, which Rohinton mentioned, which is where I spent a lot of my best hours. My Aunt Mary and Uncle Arthur's farm, across from the Old Dominion, Fletcher's Creek, the wildness behind Brampton Centennial. I had an amazing childhood here, and it formed me, and it formed my comedy. And I want to thank my mother and father, Philip and Barbara Thompson, for raising me the way they did. I want to thank my brothers, Rand and Dean and Craig and Derek, for being wonderful brothers, all my friends, and this city for making me who I am. But I want to specifically mention a couple of teachers that I had that really encouraged me growing up. First one was Mr. Potter, Jim Potter, but he would hate me if I knew that I was saying his first name, because you weren't allowed to do that back then. He was a teacher that taught me that the world was a beautiful place and that knowledge was its own reward, and that he let me know in a very subtle way that there was nothing wrong with me. And I want to thank another teacher who's also no longer with us. Her name was Margaret Wright, and she was my English teacher, and she's also no longer with us, and she died many years ago on a terrible day in May. And she was my English teacher who encouraged me and saw talent in me. And I made her life hell, and I spent so many detentions with her. And I just want to say to Mrs. Wright and Mr. Potter, I still get in trouble all the time, but now they pay me for it. Thank you very much.